While rival nations are building the future of energy and space, your government is buying your vote with money they don't even have. We aren't talking about a backroom envelope of cash or a secret offshore account. We're talking about a $1 trillion bribe hidden in plain sight, baked into the very fabric of our economy. It's the greatest transfer of wealth in human history, but it's not going to the poor, and it's not going to the rich. It's going toward the survival of a political class that has decided your future is a fair price for their next 4 years in office. Imagine a country with the greatest potential in human history, a nation that should be colonizing Mars, curing every known disease, and mastering fusion energy. But instead, it is slowly, methodically strangling its own future. Every subsidy, every stimulus check, every industry-wide relief package is a piece of your future sold for a momentary silence. We are living in the era of the great stagnation, where the wheels of progress have ground to a halt because we've spent the fuel on making the present feel comfortable. But why should you care? Because while you're enjoying the temporary high of a subsidized lifestyle, the foundation is rotting. To understand how we got here, we have to look back at the 1970s. This was the moment the leash was cut. Before this, money meant something. It was tied to a physical reality. But the moment we disconnected currency from gold, we gave politicians a magic wand. At first, they used it sparingly. A small bridge here, a social program there. But then they discovered the ultimate political cheat code. You can win any election by promising people things you haven't paid for yet. By the 1990s, the safety net had become a hammock. By the 2000s, it had become an industry. Here is the part nobody talks about. In the 1960s, nearly 10% of the federal budget went to research, development, and building the future. Today, that number has plummeted to less than 2%. Where did the money go? It went to the bribe. It went to maintaining a standard of living that the underlying economy can no longer support. This is the part where it gets worse. While the superpower of the West is cannibalizing its seed corn, its rivals are planting forests. While we argue over the cost of student loan forgiveness or the next round of corporate bailouts, nations like China are spending trillions on the Belt and Road Initiative. They are securing the world's lithium, cobalt, and copper. They are building 30,000 miles of high-speed rail, while we struggle to fix a single tunnel in New York. But here's the kicker. We are actually financing their rise. Because we don't have the money for our bribes, we borrow it. And who do we borrow it from? The very rivals who are planning our obsolescence. Now, this changes everything. We are now entering the interest trap. For the first time in history, the interest we pay on our debt is becoming larger than our entire defense budget. We are paying billions of dollars every single day just for the privilege of having spent money decades ago. If this supply of credit breaks, the industries you rely on, tech, healthcare, logistics, they don't just slow down, they explode. But here's the twist. The one you didn't see coming. It's easy to blame the politicians. It's easy to point at the suit and tie liars on television, but they are only giving us what we asked for. The $1 trillion bribe works because we, the voters, are the ones taking the money. We demand the tax cuts and the social spending. We demand the cheap gas and the green transition. We demand the stability of today at the cost of the possibility of tomorrow. We have become a consuming empire rather than a producing empire. And history is very clear about what happens to empires that stop producing. They don't usually collapse in a spectacular war. They fade away in a whimper of inflation and bureaucracy. Now, this is the part that nobody talks about, the mechanics of the theft. It's called inflationary debasement. When the government prints $1 trillion to buy your vote, they aren't creating wealth. They are diluting the value of every dollar you already earned. It's a silent tax on your savings, your time, and your hard work. It is the perfect crime because most people don't understand the weapon. They see the price of eggs go up and blame the grocery store. They see the price of a house skyrocket and blame the landlord. But the culprit is the bribe. Every time the government helps you with a check, they are actually taking twice as much from your future purchasing power. This is the part that changes everything. We are nearing the end of the road. You can only borrow from the future for so long before the future arrives and demands payment. Rival nations know this. They aren't waiting for us to collapse. They are actively building a world where the dollar, and the superpower behind it, no longer matters. They are creating their own trade networks, their own currencies, and their own internet. While we are busy arguing about culture wars and identity politics, distractions funded by the very bribe we're discussing, the geopolitical map is being redrawn. Look at the numbers. The United States now spends more on debt interest than on the children who are supposed to pay that debt back. This is not just bad economics, it's a moral crisis. We have traded our legacy for a temporary sense of security. But there is a deeper level to this play. The trillion-dollar bribe isn't just about money, it's about control. A population that is dependent on the government for its survival is a population that cannot revolt. When your healthcare, your pension, and your business's survival depend on the next legislative session, you are no longer a citizen, you are a client. This is the part that nobody talks about. The superpower status isn't just about aircraft carriers and nukes. It's about the ability to dictate the future. And right now, we are losing that ability because we are too busy managing the past. While we subsidize dying industries to save votes in swing states, the rest of the world is perfecting the next generation of semiconductors and bioengineering. So where does this end? There are only 3 ways out. 1, a massive, painful period of austerity where we stop the bribes and focus on investment. This is politically impossible. 2, we innovate our way out by discovering a technology so powerful it resets the economy, like true cold fusion. We are currently underfunding that research. Or 3, the great default, a moment where the rest of the world realizes the bribe can no longer be paid and the currency collapses. This is the part nobody talks about because it's too terrifying to face. But the data doesn't lie. We are spending our way into irrelevance, and we're doing it with a smile on our faces because the bribe feels so good in the short term. The next superpower won't be the one with the most money. It will be the one that stops spending its future to buy its present. So the next time you hear a politician promise you something for free, remember, it's not a gift. It's the ransom for a future you'll never see. The war for the next century isn't being fought on a battlefield. It's being fought in the budget. And right now, we are losing.